Hey everyone, welcome back to the Catholic Colonies podcast, where we get down to the nitty-gritty aspects of student life. New main episodes come out every other Monday, and new sub-series episodes come out on the Wednesdays in between. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to drop a follow on our Instagram at Catholic Colonies podcast. Enjoy! Hey everyone, welcome back to the Catholic Combos podcast, and on today's episode of Guy Talk, we're going to be talking about sports and sports culture.
Woo. Sports. Yeah. Sports.
Yeah.
What is that for? What is that for?
What?
Why are you so enthusiastic?
Sports are good, dude. Sports are fun. I like sports. I think a lot of people like sports. That's...
I think it's
Thank you.
Very likely, everybody.
Thank you for that observation. As this says, our segment from the CAF Combos podcast called Guy Talk, of course, is very fitting to talk about sports. Very manly, male-dominated topic, right, guys?
Yeah, of course.
That's sarcasm, by the way, if any of you can tell. But why don't we start off by introducing our involvement in sports? Like, what are you guys' favorite sports teams? And, like, what did you grow up on?
Maddie, do you want to start?
Alright. Yeah, no, pretty much since I was, like, I don't know, I think I was, like, 5 or 6, I played hockey. I started playing rep hockey when I was, like, 8 or 9, and I've just been doing that since. Not recently, because, shut down and everything. But yeah, I played rep hockey for most of my life. Skiing thrown in there, but that's not so much, team sports. That's, broadcasted to everybody that, everybody talks about. But yeah, played hockey for a while.
Maddie, you started really young. I started hockey in grade 4. So I've watched a lot of hockey since then. I also played basketball and a lot of soccer since I was really young. Those are like the main sports I played. But like on the side, you play like volleyball with your friends, you play badminton, you play all that stuff.
You go out to the park every so often.
Just go to the park often. But I guess my teams, I don't know if you see on my wall, I just have a bunch of like jerseys lined up. Soccer, Barcelona fan. For you guys on Max, Max is like disgusted. Which anyway, we can tell you hear what he likes. But anyway, baseball, I like Blue Jays. I'm from the GTA, so basketball, like the Raptors, and with hockey, I like the Montreal Canadiens.
Man likes all the Toronto teams but the Leafs.
I don't even watch hockey, and I don't like the Habs.
Okay,
nobody does.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I like the teams I like later, but we'll get to Maxwell first.
I'm a soccer guy. I grew up playing soccer. I mentioned this in another episode. I grew up in a very Italian neighborhood, so my attempt at trying to fit in was playing soccer at recess with all of the kids, and I think I'm pretty decent. I'm also a big fan of basketball. Not that good at that. Never really played it. I think I'm like the level of the kid that looks good at basketball in gym class, but then can't perform in any other level than pickup.
There's this video of Max and I. Okay, yeah. No, I'm on the same level with Max. Like in gym class, I'll be fine because like I have somewhat level of athleticism. But then like when it actually comes to playing basketball outside of gym, I get like terrible. There's a video of Max and I. We're having a skills competition, as we like to say. So you go to one end, you score a layup, you go to the other end, and you shoot like a mid-range 2-pointer. You go to the other end, and score a 3-pointer, and you come back to the front. And usually that would take someone like Max 2 minutes, Max 1 minute, maybe, I think how long is the video of Maxwell? 10 minutes?
Me?
So how long is the video of us?
The video of us is like 5 minutes.
Still,
5 is fair enough. I think that's 5. Okay, we were
playing, except for the fact that y'all were running around like maniacs the entire time.
Yeah, like
we were chasing after everything.
we were playing for a while.
It was time.
That was like the end. Fatigue. Like as an athlete, you get tired sometimes. Sometimes it's just not working out right. The muscles aren't moving properly like how you want them to. Yeah. So for soccer, I never played at like an extremely high level, but you guys have obviously played in like your select teams and your rep teams. What was your experience with that? Because I'm just curious.
Okay, my skill, at least. Okay, the teams that I played on devolved over time. I started out not high. Like I think I was playing single A at some point. That's the highest I ever got. I'm not good by any means at hockey. Like I can pass. I can pass as a hockey player. It'll work out. But you know what? I never got to like, you know, AAA, gonna go to the show, you know, that kind of level.
Mm-hmm.
So to begin with, it was, you know, kind of competitive. As time went on and more people realized that, you know, they're not making it big, it just kind of turned into house league, but more skill, you know,
Mm-hmm.
where, you know, not a lot of people cared and everybody was just kind of there for fun, kind of hang out with the guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
I had a different experience to that. See, I'll talk more later about like how select hockey. I was in select hockey, which isn't. It's like the in between of rep and house league. It's like right. I was there. Select hockey was fun. Younger, but I'll get more to that later. But Maddie just brought up a point saying when people knew that they weren't good enough to go to the league, they started treating it more like fun. My experience, that was the reason I dropped hockey, was because people knew they weren't going to the league, and they still would go out to games trying to hurt people. Like we can talk.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about hockey. We're gonna get more into sports culture later, especially like hockey culture is a big one. But dude, like the amount of people just like out for it, they were like feral, dude. Like whether it's in the locker room or on the bench, they're saying next shift I'm hurting this guy. And me, being a hockey kid who wears glasses, if you've played hockey when you're younger and you know, kid who wears glasses. The kid who wears glasses. I was a kid who wore glasses. I was terrified, dude. I was terrified. So that's why that was one of the big reasons why I dropped hockey, including the culture. But
okay. When I said people, you know, took it less seriously, I meant we didn't really care if we won. The fighting aspect of the game, on the other hand, yeah, no. I played in a non-hitting league, but the refs just did not call anything, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And it got bad. It got real bad some games. Like, I know this was a couple of years ago now. This wasn't recent, but there was a game where we ended up having 7 guys in the box at one time, all with single minors. The box being the penalty box, for those that don't watch hockey. So 7 penalties all at once in the span of 2 minutes. And they had 5 guys in the box. Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Is that like the worst it's been?
That's the worst it's been. Just counting suspensions, which also happened. But
what's like the longest suspension you've heard of someone?
I personally got a 3-game for hitting somebody from behind, but I didn't. I wasn't a hit from behind. He turned on me. I swear. Okay.
I think someone I knew got like a 2-week suspension or something like that. Because, or like, no, it wasn't. It was like something crazy. But basically, here's the story. What happened? They did something which wasn't nice, and then the ref was like, "Go to the penalty box," right? Something like that. And then he started like, he broke it. Like, he started smashing a stick on the ice, and then the ref was like yelling at him. So he started swearing at the ref, and then the ref told him to like leave. And then while he was leaving, he broke his stick on the boards. Like, he kept on smashing the boards until it break. And then he left. It was really funny. That kid, his dad, because he breaks a lot of sticks. So his dad, what he did was he took all the broken sticks he'd have during his time playing hockey and made a little bench out of the broken sticks. And it was kind of funny. It's kind of cute. It's a little bench, which is kind of wholesome. But the guy was
until you realize
until you realize that, you know, spending thousands of dollars on sticks.
The guy was a monster, dude.
Yeah,
I was terrified of that guy.
But the absolute worst suspension I got. Okay, so I played on a team. There was a girl on our team, which is, you know, really rare for hockey. You know, as you grow up, normally, you know, they split off into girls. Like, we still had a girl on our team. I played with her for a while. It was like 5-6 years. We stayed on the team together. But yeah, there was this one guy that got suspended for the season for something that he ended up saying to her on the ice. And it was just really not nice at all. And so, yeah, he just got kicked for the rest of the season. That happened.
All right, I think hockey culture is
It's really tough sometimes. It's
terrible, dude. It's like even the stereotype of like, oh, hockey boys, and like they're like that has a negative connotation to it. Fair enough, dude. Like
it does kind of hold up. I'm not even gonna lie.
Hockey culture itself is so toxic. It's like you could it's everything from, you know, like racism to sexism to homophobia. Literally every box is checked off, dude.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it starts when you were young, you know, and like you don't really realize it. It's just the people you surround yourself with, and you know, being in that locker room, it does do a lot of things to a lot of kids, especially when you're not part, or when you are a part of a majority. I think that's why, you know, you have that like stereotypical hockey guy. It's like the white guy who may potentially be racist and sexist, because that's the majority. And like, I guess like when you really notice it that much until like once you slowly getting older, more jokes are made and more cliques are made in the hockey team, and that leads to a little bit of splitting between like internal splitting between your team. And being someone who's a visible minority in a majority white sport, it's really you really see it from an outsider's point of view, because, you know, you try fitting in with everyone else, but it's just impossible just due to the literal skin color barrier. And it's like that's very like, it's tough to say. You don't want to say it, but it is there. Like racism in hockey is very prevalent. Very prevalent.
It's one of the sports that it is more prevalent in.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's tough, you know, because we're the place we're from, all of us, very diverse area. There's very multicultural and stuff. But regardless, hockey will always be a white dominated sport, at least in the area we are. And it's tough, dude. The amount of like racist stuff that was said to me, not only me, but a bunch of people I know, it can attribute to a lot of the things I go through now, like the mental health stuff I go through now. But that's just me being a brown dude. I couldn't imagine being like a girl playing in a male, like a guy dominated league. That would be brutal. Just the way that guys talk about girls in locker rooms is so disgusting. It's
really weird sometimes. Like, did you ever get that, Max? Like, I know soccer is more diverse in a sense, you know, it's more available to people.
I mean,
I don't know.
Like, okay, I'm gonna tell a story. So pretty much, I played in house league for most of the time I played soccer, just because like I feel like I didn't find a point in like going to higher levels and spending so much money just to like travel and get more expensive like gear and have a tracksuit or something. Like, I just enjoyed playing the sport and like not playing too competitively, but also being able to like perform and play well and do the thing that I enjoyed. So I would also do like the camps and like the training stuff that our leagues would run, where like rep players would also be. And then one time they said that I should try out because like I'm good enough to be able to play on a team. And then I don't know, it's just like you go to a tryout and you're the person that is there that doesn't know all of the other people, because like it's like what you were saying, your experience with hockey was like you pretty much grew up with it, right? Would you say that you grew up with mostly like the same people on your team for like a couple of years at least?
When you get older,
like it was like you grow up together and you all keep playing on the same team.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like from my experience with like people that I know that play hockey, that's definitely the same thing. It's like they grow up together throughout like the leagues and the levels, and that's the same thing in soccer. So like people will say this is like my moment where I was like, oh well, you weren't good enough, so you just didn't go into higher levels. And I'll just be like, okay, you can say that, but I just didn't enjoy the environment even at the tryout. It was just like, even in the locker room, like lacing my boots, and there were people just like saying things that I didn't like. And I was pretty young when this happened. And it's just, I don't remember direct examples. I don't even know if it's stuff that I would want to share on this, but it's definitely clear that when you put a bunch of like immature, like preteen, like kids that are hopped up on hormones because they're around all of their boys in the locker room and they're getting excited, they're getting hyped for going out and playing together, it's not always the best result. And that is like very clear with stuff that's come out. And the thing I hate the most is that there's so many people that just like dismiss things that are said because it's like, oh, it's just how the boys talk. It's just the locker room. Like there was that, what was that whole thing with Donald Trump when he said something that was completely out of pocket about women, and then they're just like, oh, it's just locker room talk.
No, yeah.
Why does that? Why?
There's no excuse there. Like,
how do you use that as an excuse? Like, you're letting people get off the hook with saying like these horrible things because just because it's a locker room, like that's just the environment, it's acceptable, right? I don't get that.
And
oh, sorry, go.
I was gonna say, no, you go ahead because you had an experience.
I was just gonna say I was very lucky with my team. Honestly, there was like I didn't have to deal with that kind of stuff. Nobody really said anything along those lines, which is really nice to not have to deal with, especially in rep hockey. But yeah, no, like for the 4 or 5 years, because I played with two groups. I played with one group until I was like in high school, and then through high school I switched teams and I started playing with another group. And that second, like, there really wasn't much to deal with. It wasn't anything that was said that was like out of pocket. So I'm really lucky for that.
And like, that's what Max was saying. It just builds up this internalized like misogyny in people, and it just builds, and it just like it grows, and it becomes to the point where it's just like things which should be like, it's tough to say. Like, it's just you grow up with a very messed up mindset, and you take that into high school.
Yeah.
You take it into, post secondary if you want to pursue that, and you take it to you have a friend groups around it, and it just becomes so toxic, and it becomes really harmful, and it just breeds a bunch of different like not good systems which should not be put in place, and a lot of bad ideals which get passed down because, like, as I was saying, boys will be boys, like, oh, locker room, because it's so normalized at such a young age. At a young age, you like are shown like if all the parents are allowing you to talk about women like they're objects, or like talk about people of different race like they're different or lesser than you, or talk about like different sexualities as if they're lesser than you, that's allowed at such a young age, then like you grow up with that, and that becomes the normal. And when you see someone who may not be the same sexuality, or may be the same gender, or may not be the same race as you, it becomes odd, and it becomes okay for you in your head to be like, yeah, no, you're weird, you're different, and I will treat you differently, and I will say things about you which invalidate everything about you. And it becomes so, I guess, just normal to be a terrible person.
And I think even sometimes like people that like observe that but like don't feel like they're in the position to say anything, like become desensitized to it. Like, even if you're not the one that's like going ahead and like making the jokes, making the comments, talking about and participating in it, you like of course I'm not saying like you have to step in and say something, but like it gets to a point where you hear those things and you're no longer like it no longer bothers you sometimes, because like I know there's periods of times in my life when I was younger and I was immature and I was growing up and I played a lot of video games where people would just be throwing out like really, really bad words that they should not be saying, words that people don't even understand like the meaning about why it shouldn't be said. And it's just and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, it's just something people say, right? It's just like it's whatever. And I think that's really big in sports.
No, for sure. It's, and like, yeah, as you were saying, it becomes like you become so desensitized. So that's a very good word. Because from an outsider's point of view, especially as a young kid playing hockey, you're like, you just want to fit in, with like you want to be part of the boys. You wanna be funny to them. You want to like be normal to them. And bring it back to the experience of being a visible minority playing hockey. People said like bare stuff to me. People said a lot of stuff to me specifically about my skin color, my parents' accents, for example, my religion, literally everything about everything that could come with being of Indian heritage, and like there became a point where like I would confirm to that. I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm not going to say what they called me because it's not school appropriate. Or not
Unfortunately,
podcast appropriate.
It's not podcast appropriate. But they'd call me things, be like, yeah, I am a blank, or yes, I am a blank. I was ashamed of myself, and I was ashamed of even my dad was a trainer on my hockey team, meaning like he did all the medical stuff, and like he did all the if someone got hurt, it'd go through him, and like it became more like I was embarrassed to be like, oh, that's my dad. I was embarrassed to have my last name on my back because it was not a white last name, and it was like it's tough, and it's like as a kid that messes with you.
Yeah,
because it became like this huge part of my life where I just didn't want to be brown, for example. Like I didn't want to be who I was, and it took a while to like unlearn that type of stuff. And like I'm 18 now, and I'm still like trying to unlearn that type of stuff. And it's like I can't imagine how it is for people who don't have people who are visible minorities, who don't have, or not even visible, people who are minorities in general in the sport, who don't have a outlet to be able to realize that being a minority and being who you are is okay. Mm-hmm. I think that is so dangerous. And it just breeds just such toxicity. And you don't notice it. You don't notice it at all until you're looking into it later. And that's one of the most dangerous parts, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like it gets a pass. Like it's just normal. It's like expected.
When it really shouldn't.
Yeah.
In no situation should it ever be acceptable.
And that ties in a lot with like other stuff that like toxic masculinity and like trends and stuff like that we'll talk about in our future next episode of Guys Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is kind of like changing the direction because I want to bring it a bit back. We talked about more deeper stuff, the toxicity involved in playing in like team sports. What kind of like what would you guys say is like your personality when you play sports? Like I know a lot of people like are different when they're playing a game. So what was your role on the team? What kind of like when you have like the stereotypes of the people on a team? Or like the like the cliches, like which one
like the fighter.
I was the guy on my team that got under the other team's skin. I was the annoying kid. I knew how to tick people off and how to draw penalties. That was the one thing that I was good at. Just standing in front of the net, like poking behind people.
Like tapping the goalie.
I was the annoying kid, and you know what? I got penalties for that, and you know what? Sometimes I got fist fights for that, but you know what? That's a whole different thing.
And oh, dude, no, that was fun times. It's fun. Playing hockey, it is fun being annoying sometimes. No. It's fun getting people mad. Even in soccer, it's fun getting people mad.
I think it'd be more fun in soccer.
It's so much fun in every sport getting people mad. I think except some sports, and in hockey and soccer mostly.
Nah, and there's no better feeling than finishing a check on somebody into the boards and you just see them fall to the ice. I might just be weird, but like
sadistic.
I might be messed in the head when I say that, but like I don't know.
No, I get you though. I guess my role in hockey. I think my personality just varies between different sports and different like eras of my life. I think when I was really young, like before I started playing Select, I didn't know many people in the league because in House League you switch every year. So I hadn't have anyone I really knew, and being the visible minority, I was like really small and scared, and I was tiny and I was fat. And I was terrified. I couldn't skate for my life. Every time I'd score a goal, it'd be like heavens have come down, and like it was like I'd get like a lucky goal, like I'd tap it in, and I'd be like, angels. Oh my god,
yeah,
I can hear the paparazzi. Nah, but like
someone signed this guy.
But no, yeah, that was when I was younger. I started playing Select, and then I started getting like a team, and then Maddie knows. Maddie, we were up against Maddie's team once.
We played once.
My first Select team. We were terrible. We were so bad. We lost every single game 10-0, 11-0, 12-0. Why? Because we were like a Division 4 team in a Division 1 like thing. Like Division high div. We were up against Maddie's team and we scored our first goal. We scored our first goal against Maddie's team. And dude, I remember it was not even a good goal. It wasn't a good goal.
It was some weird tap in that nobody covered.
No one covered it. It went in the first period, our first goal of this season. We went crazy. The whole bench started stopping. It's like we won the Stanley Cup.
We were so confused until I think it was either my dad that was on the bench or some other coach that was on the bench. I can't remember. Told us, "Hey, that was their first goal of the season. You know, let them have it." And we're like, "Oh, okay."
And then that game ended 11-0, 11-1.
Yeah, we kind of
it ended 11-1. They scored 11 goals in 3 periods. It was.
I think I got to it. That was a fun game.
It was so funny, dude. But like, see, when in that environment, no one cared. Like, it was just like
it was some random exhibition games. Like those games are the best when you like both teams know that it's just for fun and you know just hanging out and having fun. Those are the best games.
Yeah, one asshole who's like trying to like, oh, I'm gonna piss her. Shut up! No, everyone's having fun here. Stop moving.
Like I was definitely like more the playmaker type when I played hockey. And so, you know, in those kind of games, you get to kind of show off and try some random stuff. Sometimes it was so much fun.
Like, and then like going back to House, like knowing everyone, right? Being like a bit older kid, knowing everyone. Then I was like, okay, I know that my skill level is higher than a lot of these people. All I did was I just skated fast. That's all I could do. Like I skated fast and stand in front of the net. I skated fast into the net and it went in and went in. So everyone knew me as the guy who put his head down and skated. And just went, but that was that. And then, you know, when I grew up and I went to that environment where when I was talking about earlier, I went from one league to another league. And then that was where everyone just wanted to hit each other and like literally kill each other. Dude, bro, like people were like smoking on the bench. They're vaping on the bench and stuff. It was like
that's a whole different thing, man.
On the bench, I'm like, dude, get me out of this place. So yeah, that I was just kind of the kid who just didn't do anything. I just didn't want to play. I left like 4 games into the season because I did not want to be in this environment. So that's hockey. In basketball, when I played basketball in the league, what was I? I was just a kid who. I was a kid who would throw pretty decent passes and sometimes hit like two three pointers a game. Like sometimes, I'd get like no touches a game, and when I did, I'd like shoot up a 3-pointer. I missed a layup once. I wanted to cry.
Oh no!
Okay, it was a fast break layup, dude. There's one guy running up behind me, like about to chase down LeBron James, block me. I was terrified. I tossed it up and off the backboard. Pretty tough time in my life. Anyway, but yeah, so basketball, I just kind of passed the ball to people. That wasn't. And then in soccer, it depends on the year. I guess when I was like grade 8 to 9, I was the one fast kid, and then grade 10 and 11, I started. Dude, I got really nervous in grade 10 and 11. I started second guessing everything, which led to my downfall. Maxwell knows about my downfall.
Will we talk about it here?
Can we talk about it here?
You want to talk? Okay. We'll talk about it after when I talk about my.
Okay, yeah, Maxwell, you go first.
Yeah, so Naman and anyone who has played with me knows I'm the loud guy that
It's so funny.
That pushes everyone around on the field.
Are you the guy that's screaming from the bench at everybody on the field, telling them what to do?
Not from the bench.
Guy?
Not from the bench because I wouldn't be on the bench.
From back.
But from I'm like the enforcer, which is funny because I'm a 5'8" scrawny Chinese kid. But I'm the loudest one on the field, and Nami can attest to that. Like, I will be in your ear. I'll be trash talking you, like, standing right next to you. Like, I don't know. Nami,
This guy's a menace.
were you
This
at
guy's
the
a
game?
menace.
I feel like sometimes it's like. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm such a horrible person, but then sometimes I'm just like, I know these guys, so it's not because
It's fun. It's all fun games.
So
Funny though, because you see Max in the halls in school, you see him like anywhere else, just quiet, put together kid. He's just very like quiet, holding this backpack, holding this stuff, walking, doesn't do much, AirPods in. This guy on the field, dude. This guy's yelling, bro. I'm on the other team, right? I'm running back into play. You're on the other side of the field, fam. Oh my god.
because I gotta keep my teammates in check, man. Okay, I don't remember what it was. There was a game. I don't know if you were there, Nauman. Were you at that game when there was this guy with hair, like Danny Green, right?
As opposed to
Danny Green
There
guy.
was a guy with hair like Danny Green, the guy who played on the Raptors for a season and win the championship. I like the entire time I was completely like clamping him on defense. Like every time they would try and play a ball through, I would just block it. They would probably play a ball over. I was locking him up, dude. I play defense, so that's like I get excitement out of like completely denying people entry because I'm faster and I can play the ball better than them.
Jeez.
And then so I was just like, Danny Green got nothing on me, bro. And it's like just keep saying, it's like those little things because that's just like that's part of the game, man. And even like you can say you can like Maddie, you're saying you're the annoying person. You get behind people by doing little stuff.
No.
That was me, but I was loud when I did it.
Vocal, yeah.
And because you get in his head, you get in the team's head. Everyone's playing bad.
Mm-hmm. Because you get in the striker's head, they can't score. What the team's gonna get mad?
Exactly.
What happens then? That was when you were on the same team, right? I was playing goalie that game, eh?
Yeah, that was a school game.
Wait, was that a school game?
That was a school game, but we've also played against we played
played
against
him
him in league.
Okay,
And
yeah,
then he was
yeah.
on another school that we played against.
Oh, I was playing goalie against him in a league game. Imagine he's watching this, like somehow. That's so funny. Like I don't know his name. I don't know his name.
The funny thing is, I actually knew him since we were kids. From like some camp. It's kind of funny.
That's so.
I don't think he knows
That's
who I am, but yeah.
That's
I
really
found his
funny.
Instagram and I was like, yo, this is Danny Green, bro. And then I was like, oh, I realized this is where I knew him from. We were at like some camp together when we were kids. Yeah.
That's so funny.
So I'm the loud and annoying guy that will boss around everyone on the team, because like when you're playing defense, you can see the entire field, and when people are not doing what they need to be doing, and yeah.
I did some annoying stuff as well. I remember like I played striker a few years, and in those years, because like when like you're like about to like go on like a counter attack, I'm like trying to like stay as close to like the offside line as possible without being outside. So I'm like staying right beside the enemy defense because I'm on offense, and I'm always talking to them. Like I'm having like regular conversations with them. I'll be like, "Hey, how's your day been?" I'm like, "The weather's been like really nice. Like the grass is a little bit wet. You see that flower over there? Like that's like really nice." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And then I'll start running. It's really fun.
You probably
it's so funny. On face, like okay, I was right wing, not soccer. Sorry, right wing hockey when I played. It's so funny that you go from, I line up next to the guy, how you doing? Doing okay. Because some teams are actually sociable. And then, 5 seconds later, I come up to him and it's to check into the boards. And you know what?
They're like breaking a stick.
Yeah.
People know it's the game. People understand that all of it's part of like how you play. And this is not the part where it's like toxic and you're just passing it off. This is the part where it's like it's actually things that like are just part of when you're playing the sport. Like if you get into if you get into like an an altercation with someone else, at the end of the game you shake hands and it's over. Like you don't really have any beef. It's just a game.
There were some teams that I had beef with. I'm not gonna lie.
At higher levels, of course, that's gonna be different. But like when it's lower, it's like we're just like
It got so bad at one point that the refs actually started making us shake hands at the start of the game so that we didn't have to fight in the handshakes after.
I remember that.
It got so bad that they had to change the rules for that because there were a couple teams that we just full on rivalries. Like you knew going in that you were going to get into a fight with somebody.
Right. Like especially when you can like playoff time, and like or like tournaments, dude.
Tournaments, dude. Yeah.
Are so funny. I have one tournament experience. I know Maddie has more tournament experience than I do. But I had this one tournament. We came second place out of 2 teams. We came second place. We lost every single game. Okay, because there was like 2 tournaments in one. Like every team was against each other, but there was only 2 people, including our team, which are our age group. So we just had one game to decide who got first and second. It was like a round robin with every other team, and these teams were like 2 years older than us. So when we were in grade like 9 and 10, these guys were in grade 11 and 12. So they were like those were blowouts, obviously. Not because we had a bad team, of course, but because they were older. No, so we just like messed around those games, and then the final game. We scored a few goals, bro. There was when we got put into a lower division, we started winning games, dude. Our team was low key sick. But yeah, we played this tournament, and then throughout the tournament, oh my god, tournaments are low key some of the most fun times ever. Like
Yeah.
Like, I think spending overnight trips with any group of people your age is just a lot of fun.
It's
I
just
think that goes into like every aspect of life. I know Maddie probably has many more experiences, but dude, there'd be like there'd be like restaurants that you always go to, and there'd be like there's like the pool. You go to the pool and you just dude, man, wow, that was fun times. Man, you have any fun experiences with I think
I'm trying to find the most memorable one, honestly. Like it doesn't really matter where you end up. The away tournaments were always so much fun. Staying in the hotel with the boys. Staying up until like 12, 1 in the morning, just running around.
There was 6 in the halls.
Mini six in the halls was so much fun. But there was one time at a tournament. Where were we? I can't even remember where we were. But we were like. This was when we were younger, and we didn't know that people sleep at late.
Oh my goodness.
So we were the kids that were running around in a hotel full of, probably business people trying to, do that, playing mini sticks and running away from the security guard that we saw down the hall.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Max, do you have any tournament experiences like that?
No, not really.
No. Oh, Max.
Most of our stuff, most soccer stuff isn't like, or like for what I did wasn't overnight stuff. Most of it's like you play a couple of games in one day at the location, then you drive home, go back the next day if you continue. So yeah, it's tournaments stuff's pretty fun. In the lower levels, it's like it is what it is because it's just like a bunch of little kids running around. But when you get to like when you're playing in the lowest level of soccer, when you're like our age, not many other people are doing it because it's like their parents aren't forcing them to do it anymore. It's just the people who actually like want to play for fun but aren't like too competitive and don't want to go into rep.
Yeah.
So it's a good team.
So it's like the top of the players in the house league because everyone else is like weeded out. And then so there'd only be like a couple teams. So because there's not enough teams to run a tournament like within your area, you'd start running tournaments against other teams in the areas, and that became more fun for us because then we were playing teams from like Keswick and like Mount Albert,
like different places,
a lot of different areas, and it was really fun to see how like our city is pretty annoying. Our city is pretty multicultural, so our teams were always like a bunch of different people, a bunch of different races and backgrounds, but then we'd literally just be going up against teams of like all Italian dudes.
Mm-hmm. And
it was just really funny because like the dynamics was just amazing.
Yeah, no, we'd have like literally every single like race you could think of, like so many cultures on our team. And then we go against a team of like full white people, and we're just like.
We'd be making jokes against them. That's what's funny.
Like we're like, it's dude. Okay, I usually don't get mad when I'm playing sports. I tend to stay. How
do you do that?
I'm the opposite, dude.
There's some times that just like...
I tend to stay like back when I'm playing sports, but those games against like the not people in our area leagues and people who are just like everyone from around Ontario.
That you know you're never going to see again because they're from
Yeah.
like 3 hours away or
Yeah.
something
Bro,
like that.
I actually wanted to like throw hands sometimes. I was so mad, bro. It was
In
so
soccer.
annoying.
No, yeah.
Bro,
I've had a lot of times I've gone like almost into things with people
Like,
in
Oh
soccer.
my.
Even in lower
Soccer-
levels, which is what you'd surprise you. Like
The thing I've noticed. Sorry, continue, Max.
fouling is like hockey. It's like accepted to hit someone, but when you
Yeah.
foul harder in soccer, there's like the
That's like a
flopping.
big deal,
There's
right?
a flopping side of things where refs will like. But the thing is, refs aren't good.
That's
Like
terrible.
refs are horrible in like the level we were playing. So flopping works, but then also being more aggressive on people works because refs can't like tell that.
Like, oh, you're
What
flopping.
the,
Yeah,
what the line is,
like they
yeah.
can't
You're
really
flopping.
tell. Like
Head
if
for the Achilles. Oh, you're flopping.
they're not getting paid enough, is what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
So pretty much like you can get away with like I'm not the biggest person, right? Like what I said, I'm pretty freaking scrawny. But if you know how to like position yourself when you're playing defense to be able to get like in between people and the ball and like pretty much just like not like cut people off because that's actually like a foul, but like getting in between people on 50-50s
angle them
and
off.
just bodying them. Because when you're faster than someone and you have a better position on someone and they're trying to dribble, you could just push them off the ball so easily because they're trying to pay attention to dribbling and not like how they can like use
Like a person
themselves
coming
against-
at 'em.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So there were times where like slide tackling, just like completely obliterating a guy on a 50-50. Like one time I completely like blocked. I think you guys know this guy. He went to your elementary school. It was a school game. We played against a team, and you guys knew a guy or Nam. I don't know if Nam was there. That was the season Nam got injured. But there was a guy from your elementary school that's like that got really buff now, right?
I think I might know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
so we're- Hmm?
No, whatever.
Yeah, so he got really big compared to how I had seen him from elementary school. So we were playing against him. I completely win the ball off of him, and then I'm like pinned in the corner. So I'm trying to like drill out. This guy fully just like kneed me in my butt. I was so confused. I was like I'm holding the ball and he's behind me. I have him on me and I'm gonna like dribble to get out. This guy just like knees me and I just like follow it up like, dude, what are you trying to do? What? So then, there's like those things like there was a Keswick kid that tried to like choke out my teammate one time.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
See, okay, Maddie, like the thing about hockey is that there's not like much verbal communication, especially at our like league, because like mouth guards and everything, Like
Well,
it's
you
a
guys
lot
did because we actually communicated on ice. Like
Oh.
we were pretty verbal. I'm not gonna lie.
of us like being annoying was like just like a lot of annoying stick checks, like annoying pushes.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
no, we still did that. Yeah, of
Like,
course.
it was mostly that, right? Well, this is me. But with soccer, it's just like so vocal and it's so actually like person to person. You get really close with people. You can like actually
Yeah, no, with hockey, I assume it's like more accepted.
Yeah, it's
No,
more,
yeah,
it's more
hockey-
normal. That's why it's like, yeah,
Like, first place weren't a big deal. You had protection. Who cares?
yeah, you
It's
have
fine.
gloves and pads. Soccer, the only thing you have is on your shins.
Yeah.
So that's why it's even more fun when you. Never mind. I-
them.
Like,
and it's fun. It's funnier because most of the time you can play it off and get them in trouble and not you when you start something.
that was the best feeling when you start something
Yeah.
and they got in trouble for it because they turned around and the ref finally noticed.
That's
So
what.
funny.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did. I had a big mouth, man. And they'd be like, "Oh, this dude said this thing." I was like, "No, what are you talking about, bro? I'm just standing here."
Bro, you would. I remember there's so many times because Max and I were like, we were in a league for how many? We were in like the same team.
We
for, like,
we
4
met
years.
each other the first time in like grade 5. We played together on a team.
But I knew Max. Like we had like this 4 league span in like succession, which Max and I were on the same team, and like it was so funny, dude. This guy would piss so many people off, and then like the ref and the talk to the ref. He talked like specifically to the ref, and the ref would be like, "Fair enough."
No, there were times I would straight up like mock people, and then they would. So like they'd like do something, and then I'd like mock them and copy them and like say something to annoy them, and then they'd try and push me, and then I'd flop and get the ref to go and get the. That's the most fun because for me it's like who looks like the idiot now because I'm just standing here and you gotta punish me for that. I took the win on that, man. Yeah, I think I used flopping and my size disadvantage well to be able to succeed and play well in the
was
sport.
Small on my team. I'm like I don't even know how tall I am now, but when I was playing,
you were shorter back then. You were much shorter back then.
no. I was small. It's so easy to just draw penalties just, by falling to your knees and sliding a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Because you got, 6'2" guys. Whenever I had to take a check from the defense, their shoulder was into my head, and that was not fun.
You get someone's stick on your skates on the ice, or just off on the ice.
But surprise! I don't know how I managed to do it, how I learned to do it, but I can still throw a check every so often. It is the best feeling knowing that you were shorter than a guy by like 4 inches and you still managed to check them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There were times, I don't know if Nauman was on my team when I did this, but there was one time specifically I remember. It was like one of our playoff games. I won us a free kick that we eventually scored by like going up in the air for a header to 50-50 with a guy. And then he like jumped into me kind of, so I just fell over. And then I got up, and then I had to sell it. I had to play on the ground a little bit. It looked like I got hit, and then people would walk up and be like, "Yo, are you good, bro?" And I'd just be like, "Man, oh, like there's times where like this sounds really like bad for people that don't understand soccer, but this is such a big part. This is why people make fun of soccer because there's players this. But it is
why I can't play a sport other than hockey because this stuff happens.
But this is the fun stuff when you know how to do it better than other people. So you gotta sell it a little bit fake on the ground and you lie there a bit.
You smile in the corner of yourself.
You put your head out. You peek out. Like there was some and then you just start freaking like stretching or something, and then you're like, "Oh, bro," and you're just sitting on the ground. Yeah, because then
you're like sitting on the ground, put your leg out.
Yeah. And then the refs aren't good enough to like this. Like, oh, it's just a kid that got hurt, so of course it's the other guy's fault, right? They don't look that far. Yeah. So they give you the free kick, and then you get up, and then they're like, "Oh, you gotta get off, bro. Take rest for 5 minutes." And I was like, "Okay."
Take a knee.
Yeah, like go on the side, get water, and the break cover, and then I went off to
sorry, team.
So they take the free kick and score. I walk off to the bench for my rest, and then I just look at everyone. I was like, yeah, no, I'm fine. Because that stuff's fun. I don't know. That's part of soccer that people don't like, but when you play it and do it, it's fun.
It's even funnier when the ref still calls it and your entire team is laughing because it's like a dead obvious fake, but then the ref still calls it. So you're on the ground laughing. You have like 3 people coming to help you up that are also laughing. And this guy's on his way to the box like, what the hell just happened? What is the ref doing?
That's what I enjoy because it's enjoyable. It's
funny in some weird way. It is so funny.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Have you guys ever had parents fight?
Oh, we've had parents ejected. Yeah, I've had parents ejected from my games.
Oh, dude, parents are the funniest thing ever, dude. So funny, especially in soccer, because like they're like all like in. Actually, no, I've had parents ejected in hockey as well.
Yeah.
Oh no, parents in general are so funny because like it's house league. It's house. you don't have, like your kid's not going to La Liga. Your kid's not going to.
They're not going anywhere. They're not even making the MLS, man.
Bro, like, calm down. Oh my god, screaming at from the other end of the field, like that was a foul.
Yeah,
that was a foul.
I have an amazing story for that. All right, so pretty much indoor league. We're playing in the bubble, which is like the big thing. They have, on the turf field, and it's like it's a smaller field because it's like less people are playing. And it's like smaller because it's more casual thing. This freaking soccer mom. I know the kid. He was on the other team. I'm like chill with him now, but like we had like this beef for some reason because his mom was trash talking me the entire time. So I play positions where I'd be playing on like the sides of the field rather than closer to the middle. So I can hear what people are saying as I'm moving up and down, and it's smaller, and it's in a big bubble, so of course the sound is gonna like reverberate and you hear things more. This lady, this soccer mom is on the side of the field trash talking me. It's like, oh, he's flopping, that's not a goal, that number 3, dude. Like, don't even cover him. He's not gonna do. And I'm like, we're like beating their team, and she's just getting so mad. And she's like, ref, what are you doing? I took a reffing course. I ref in this other league. This call is not a call. Those are the funniest, dude. And then, it got so funny because, like, normally my mom was the one that drove me to the games. My mom started to argue. My mom normally freaking sits and knits at my ears because she doesn't care about soccer. She doesn't care about soccer. She just drives me there because I couldn't get there on my own. She starts arguing with this lady. And I, of course, I had to do my part and trash talk her on the side. I would walk by and go like this. And I would just be like, hey, I'd win the ball off of her kid and then like look at her, say a little bit of things from the field.
You're a menace, fat. What?
I had to. She was dissing, man.
Oh
she was dissing. So my mom and her started arguing on the.
That's
That's pretty funny because it was nothing I'd ever expected my mom to do, but it's really
so
funny because they just got in an argument and then eventually we ended up on the same team another year.
There was
They never interacted.
one.
They don't remember each other.
There was one hockey dad, or not just one. What am I saying? There's like millions of hockey dads that mouth off to the ref when their kid gets in the box.
Yeah.
It's just there was a couple times where we just kind of the song that goes like na 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 na
Yeah.
na na na.
Good.
We as a team would synchronized do that. Wave together at either a dad getting ejected or one of the players on the ice getting ejected. It was so
funny.
fun.
That's so funny. Like, oh, dude. As much as I hate to admit it, it was fun annoying people. It's like,
That's like that's part of it.
It was an outlet for me. I'm not even gonna lie.
Hey, I won't lie, that was me too. Because like Nauman was saying, dude, I don't talk to that many people at school. I'm not like the most talkative person. If you see me in class, I'm gonna be like my head down in my notebook writing notes. I'm not the class clown. I'm not the person that's always talking and like making jokes and like poking fun at things, other than like with my friend that I'm sitting right next to.
Yeah.
Soccer, like no one would see me in class and then expect me to be the person that I am when I play sports because I'm just like,
Oh, definitely not.
yeah, because
I'm generally well reserved. I don't do anything out of the ordinary, but come hockey time, man.
yeah, it's the way you get it out, and other people
Exactly.
understand that. Like, hey, you're gonna get yelled at, you're gonna get
Chirping's a thing. You're going to get mad.
you're gonna get lightly made fun of. When you're
That's the
playing.
sport.
Mhm.
Well, welcome to the sport.
And I'm not excusing when people are actually like racist and say bad things
When
because
it's
when someone says something like that,
completely
people will go like ham on you. But like
It's
just
like-
little comments and stuff to like get in people's heads
It's-
is nothing.
It's
like-
stuff
it's like-
that you remember from 30 minutes and then forget about
when
it.
you're trying to get under someone's skin because they're on the other team rather than because they're of a different
Yeah.
than you, like
Yeah.
a different race group, different
Yeah.
Like, it's it's kind of funny. It's like, especially when like you guys talk about when parents get mad. It's so funny. It's so funny. Oh, wow. I miss playing soccer. I miss playing soccer so
I
much.
miss sports, man. I really wish I could play hockey this year.
Like, soccer.
we
So
were
much
gonna
fun.
play on a select team in 2020 summer, Norman.
We were gonna have
We had a team. We had everyone like together already, and then it got canceled.
It was gonna be a sick team for real.
Yeah. And now we'll never know.
Now we'll never
Could
know.
have been.
We probably would just go with the thought that we won. We would want a chance.
Yeah, I mean the team was pretty much made up of all of the people that were on our team the year before, and we went undefeated. So safe to assume that we would have
We were
done the
cracked.
same thing. Yeah,
Mhm. Damn.
sports is a very, very, very important thing. I think it made me who I am.
No, for sure.
Oh,
It
for sure.
played
Yeah.
a very, very big part in my development, especially like growing up and figuring out like I don't know. I think like playing sports like is where I kind of develop my sense of like confidence
Yeah.
because like when it's kind of like I don't know. I grew up like in an area where I wasn't really like I say this so many times. I'm gonna mention it so many times because it was my childhood. I grew up when I wasn't like the cool kid. I was like the one that wasn't the same as everyone else. So for me, like being able to like excel in that and play against other people and succeed and like show my like as an individual I can like be better than someone else. That was like, hey, I can do things and I'm succeeding. So I like let me guess myself up a little bit. I think that's where like some of the chirping and the cockiness comes from.
For sure.
Like it gave me a sense of, you know, hey, you can do this. You know, you're not like, this is something that, be proud of this. You can do this. Like, because I was one of the first line starters for our team. You know, by the end of the time that I started like playing hockey, and you know, that's something to be proud of. Even though it was only like barely rep level playing hockey, is still something.
Yeah.
Then there's the injuries that are going to follow me for the rest of my life, but that's,
me
you know,
too,
completely different
oh my
story.
goodness, we didn't even talk about injuries, dude. I've had multiple ankle sprains like in both directions.
Oh, that's probably not good.
And like I've gotten stomped on many times by cleats.
knees
So
are permanently
every time I play, I have to wear braces on both of my ankles.
My knees are gone.
My knees are done because boards are not forgiving. Boards are not forgiving in the slightest. So when you get trips, this happened on 2 occasions to the same knee, and I don't even know how it happened. I'm going into the boards to try and pick up a puck, and this guy trips me up from behind. And I'm still in the air as I go into the boards, and the first thing that contacts it, mind you, I'm full speed, is my knee. And at the time, my shin pads were too small, so like where my shin is, my shin pad ended like here. So my knee was exposed. Like the top of my knee was exposed, and it just right in. And
bro,
that's gonna last a while.
Impact velocity of someone weighing 130 pounds going at an initial velocity of 20 meters. Dude. Oh, wow. I think while soccer and hockey have given me some sense of confidence, I think rather than confidence, one of the biggest thing I learned from sports is probably just like kind of like a sense of community and a sense of teamwork. I think rather than confidence in my point of view, it was just the ability to rely on and work with other people.
Yeah.
And I think you know, that's what's one thing that I love about sports. I think, you know, you see this in professional sports heavily. Just the community you get. Of course, there's always toxic communities between people and between fans and people, but in your own fan base, the community you make is just something like, you know, like no other. Like, I feel like all I have to do is wear like my Habs jersey or wear like a Habs hat, and anyone I see who likes the Habs, we will instantly have like a connection, even but they don't know me at all, but we'll still have a connection. And it's similar with every single team. And I think like a good testament to that was the Raptors.
Definitely.
The 2019 finals. Dude.
Even if you weren't fans of the Raptors and you just hopped on for the championship run.
I completely just hopped on for the championship run.
Even so, that's fine because that's how you get into it, right? Like a lot of people are like, I think it was worse for when Golden State was on their tear and they were on the like was it 73-9 season and they went 25-0 in the first 25 games of the season. That was like, that's a different level of bandwagon when you're not from the city and you start liking the city.
And you start going to that.
Yeah. But just because they're like the top of the league. But like the Raptors have been waiting, like you can tell, like you can't see all of them, but I have 4 Raptors jerseys on them. When the Raptors started, like they've always had something, like one thing that was holding them back. And like some people say, yeah, it was LeBron James. Sure, he played a big part of it, but it wasn't necessarily just the LeBron James. Like we would win the East and then just lose in the second round and get swept or something. Like we couldn't do anything in the playoffs. Like if you're getting on for the championship ride, just like stick with it because it's like I think like a lot like in the NBA, a lot of people think that the Raptors fans are like one of the most toxic fan bases because of the thing that happened with like Kevin Durant when they started cheering when he got injured. But I would think a lot of people who are level-headed and look at it more will think we're one of the best because we are.
I think on top of that, you have like one huge factor about our fan base is the fact that we're the only Canadian team. We're the only team outside of America. So all of Canada.
All of Canada's behind one team.
Raptors fans.
Yeah.
On top of that, it's not only all of Canada. It's like people outside of the continent as well. Because the only team that's not an American team is that is a team that's not American. And it represents something else. It doesn't represent like a city. It represents a like more of a community.
It's like a
And
movement.
I think a movement.
We the
unreal.
North.
North. It's and like, dude, it is so like I remember like that championship run. And I remember I was driving. I was driving when that run was happening. And I remember seeing like literally like every kid and their dad, and their like every kid and their cousins and like their moms. They're all outside. They're all like playing basketball in their hoops with other people, and it was just like, wow. I've like never seen anything like this before. The amount of people playing basketball on the streets like every single day was unreal.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, wow, it was so good. And like, I tell this story a lot, but like it was my mom's birthday on Mother's Day. But that was the game 7 against Philadelphia when Kawhi hit the shot.
Yeah.
And dude, I feel bad for my mom because I'd have like one bite and then I'd run to the bar so I can watch, and then I'd come back, like another bite, and come back. And I remember when Kawhi hit that shot, dude, I did not, like, no one cared how, like, who anyone else was. We were high-fiving everyone, like, the hugs were going around, everyone was screaming. Bro, that night was live. That night was insane.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, we win the next series in Milwaukee, and then go to Golden State, and Toronto when we won was just a different, like I've never seen before. I've only been alive for 18 years, but I've never seen anything like it.
It's like this entire it's like this unification, this one thing that brings everyone together. Like it's the one team, and then like on a larger scale, it's the one sport that you're a fan of that you can relate to with anyone, even if you're fans of opposing teams. Like just being able to have that connection with someone.
Yeah,
is like I think soccer being one of the biggest sports like internationally is an amazing thing because like so you can like go to like different countries and like see people like wearing different jerseys, supporting different teams. That like I went on vacation in Paris. There's people playing in like the street, like at one area. It's so cool. It's just it's just community, right?
Especially soccer. I think soccer is one of the best sports for that because it's like you look at hockey, right? And with hockey, you know, you need ice, you need skates.
It's not quite the same for hockey. It never will be just the way the sport is.
Because hockey's it's an expensive sport, especially with ice. It's a certain climate, right?
Yeah.
You need, like a lot of people underneath the equator just can't play hockey. But
it's definitely like a closed off sport to a lot of people, which kind of sucks sometimes.
Yeah. But like you look at soccer, and literally all you need is a ball and then like 2 sweaters from like your friends. You get like 2 sweaters, and there's the goalpost. Boom, you're set.
You don't even need sweaters. You can just kick
you get 2 trees. You get 2 trees.
You don't need a net. You don't even need a net.
Yeah, you just run around.
All around. It's soccer.
Yeah. It's so. Oh, dude, soccer is such a good sport. It's so like, of course, there is everything behind the soccer, like behind like the scenes, and that's not like there is like not to, like soccer does still play a huge part of like the toxicity of sports and stuff like that. Like there's still the background of it. There's still locker room talk, but as an entity and as soccer itself, I think everyone has the ability to enjoy soccer. Of course, there is a lot of discrimination still, but it is something that, you know, you can enjoy with your friends with minimal cost, and it is something that can bring a lot of people together, which I enjoy. And it's just, wow, it's sports in general are just so good. I think it's like I don't want to keep on bringing it back to the Raptors like winning the championship, but when the Raptors won, I remember we were all like, I remember like a few people, Maddie and I, and then a few other people were watching in my basement, and Maxwell was watching in with his other friends, and then I remember it was like 12 a.m. or something like that. I think it was night, right? And then the Raptors won. We both left our houses. And then we met up in the middle of the street, and we ran to like McDonald's.
And there was a crowd of people there, and it was just
everyone was honking their horns, screaming from balconies, like at 12 a.m. Everyone was like having the time. It was so amazing, dude. Like people who didn't watch basketball. My mom has never like held a basketball or like touched the basket. Like my mom has never like watched, like she's watched a few basketball games, and she was posting on her Instagram, "Let's go Raptors, we're the champions." But yes, bring the love. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I wish we could get back
Mhm.
to a time where we could pick
Mhm.
up
I
basketball
miss
whenever
it.
we're hanging out with people, just shoot around, kick a
Mhm.
soccer ball around the park, throw a frisbee around. Because I think, like even if you're not good at sports, I feel like it's such a common thing to be doing when you're hanging out with people outside that it's just like you enjoy it to an extent. Like you don't have to be the most athletic person to be able to like shoot a basketball around. You don't have to be the best of the best ultimate frisbee player to throw a frisbee around with your friends in the park. Throw a baseball, throw a football. Like we played volleyball a couple times. We're
Yeah.
all so
Like,
bad.
put me in a sport outside of a winter sport, I am dead in the water. I cannot. These two have seen me play basketball. It is atrocious sometimes.
We watch. There's this. A lot of you may know, like Haikyuu, the anime, the volleyball anime. We watch like 3 episodes of that. Go into a volleyball court.
We're like, we can definitely do exactly what is in this
We
show.
did not do exactly
Hey.
what was in the show.
It's like when you're a kid
Pretty.
and like you like before hockey
Okay,
games,
Max.
soccer games, you watch like top 10 Messi highlights, top 10 Cristiano Ronaldo highlight. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I remember we didn't get to this. Max was a Real Madrid fan. I'm a Barcelona fan.
I don't know. Okay, the thing is,
Oh god.
I don't follow soccer as closely. Like I used to be a big like nerd where I like
Oh, me
know
too.
statistics and everything, even for basketball. But like the pandemic kind of like made me lose interest in watching sports because it's
Yeah.
like watching a basketball game where it's just the people on the bench and the refs
Mhm.
and the announcers and
The grind.
and then the people on the court. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like the energy isn't there. Like it's not what you want it to be when you know it's just like a
You lose
recording
it.
of it's not the same. Because like especially in Toronto, like I've gone to a couple of Raptors games. Oh my goodness. I've been to TFC games. Oh my goodness. Like after they renovated the stadium, I had seats for one of the playoff games when we were in the championship run. I was sitting like closer to the front. You hear the crowds of people behind you going to like elevations like that you can't even like see. Like people are like this big when you turn around and look up at the top, and it's just everywhere, everyone cheering for that one team against the other team. That's just a feeling that I hope I get to experience again, because it's just not the same right now, right?
It's
I don't know if it's the same for high scoring games like basketball, where scoring happens every couple minutes or so. But when you're at a hockey game and that goal goes in and the
Yeah,
entire
yeah.
stadium is on their feet, like it's the same for soccer.
Mhm.
No feeling tops that, because you're surrounded by people, all just screaming at the top of their lungs, cheering, and it's such a good feeling.
Mhm.
No. I think it's like when you're in basketball, like when you're watching a basketball game, you have like the defense, or like let's go.
You have the chance, yeah.
And there's chance in other sports, right? But it's different because you have those chants in basketball, and then someone scores, and there's cheering. So there's always cheering going on. Like there's
Right.
always a level of cheering. But with like soccer and hockey, as you were saying, like there's that level of cheering, and then like when it gets to a point where like someone scores, because it's like the lowest, like 5 goals a game, like tops
Yeah.
for both total. Like it's like low scoring, bro. It's just like the crowd, like the stadium shakes. It feels like.
You
Everyone
feel
on their feet. Everyone and their freaking grandmas on their feet, like going crazy, because it's like your team just scored. Even if you don't know what happened, everyone's screaming. You gotta scream. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy. It's so much fun. It's experiences like you wish that you cherished more. But like also it's like you were like so in that moment, which like you couldn't even cherish it more than that.
Mhm.
It's just different. It's tough to explain.
I think the thing with basketball and like the nature of basketball is something like the games can be exciting because there's so many different things that can happen on the court. But for the most part, it's going back and forth, and it's either going to be like one team has a significant lead for the entire time and just wins, or like it's close and then it comes down to the wire, which is like the most exciting ones, or it's
Yeah.
like there's a comeback in the fourth quarter, and that's those ones. But like with sports that are lower scoring, there's so much anticipation for what could happen because there's less opportunities to have like that game-changing goal, that game-changing run, that game-changing play that can automatically just switch everything on. It's like there are those times like that in basketball, but I can remember there are times I've been at like soccer games in stadiums, and there are times when it's just been a drought and there's like not many shots going on. It's just going back and forth, passing and like dribbling and stuff like that. It'll just be dead silent, and that's absolutely insane when you think there's thousands of people all sitting there in anticipation of like something happening, and then when it does happen, it absolutely explodes. Like what you're talking about. I was at the game for
closing the cap.
I was at the finals that TFC won against Seattle 2-1.
I remember watching that. I remember watching on TV.
It was absolutely crazy because the goals didn't happen like early on. Like I'd say it was like I don't even remember the time, but it was 1-0 for a bit, and then Seattle scores again, and then finally that last goal that seals off the victory for the 2-1, absolutely exploding for the championship, and just stuff like that is so exciting.
Wow.
I feel everybody on the edge of their seat.
Yeah,
Like, you know, everybody is holding their breath. There's no feeling that beats that, man.
yeah.
Because like it's so great. Like that's what Maxwell was saying. There's like thousands of people, and you could hear a pin drop. Like you hear like the ball getting kicked around. You hear the
Yeah,
puck
you can
getting-
hear the pinging of like someone's foot hitting against the
It's
fully
so
pumped ball. Yeah.
It's so quiet and like that like gasp you hear when someone shoots. Like there's a free kick.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Like it's like, and now you watch like this is not faulting any like major basketball thing. Like, you can't do much, but like you see basketball teams and like they have like the crowd sounds in the background, and like as it's the best they could do. I know, but it's just so different. It's just so it's
Simulation.
It's never
It's weird.
the same
Oh.
as a live audience.
Yeah, I mean,
It's-
the U.S. is getting crowds back. Like, have you seen, like, there's been boxing events already? Ruiz
Yeah.
Areola happened on Saturday.
Mhm.
There's the whole Triller Jake Paul. That was
That happened.
that was a mess. We don't even have to talk about that. The main event fight was bad. All of the other fights were bad.
bro.
Pete Davidson and Snoop Dogg
Bro,
and Charlie D'Amelio.
I said that Justin Bieber sang the chorus of one of his songs longer than the main event fight was.
Like, I couldn't imagine that people paid like $60 to watch that, man. That's and it's like top 10 on all pay-per-views now.
Is it actually?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it made so much money, and the production was horrible. The camera angles for even the fights was horrible. Why is Doja Cat there? Why is Charlie D'Amelio there? Why is Oscar De La Hoya like smoking weed with Snoop Dogg while announcing and trash talking? Like, you're a boxing legend. Why are you doing this, man? Yeah, but like, we're getting closer to live crowds because of vaccinations coming out. I don't know about Canada anytime soon because, you know, we're moving at the rate of oh yeah, Nauman just got vaccinated. Very excited. You know,
Look at this. The sticker.
Cute.
I'm going in like a couple of weeks. So is my
I'm going into the
right?
month, yeah.
Yeah, so,
I didn't even get this, dude. The place I got my vaccine from didn't hand out stickers. My dad gave me this one. He got one. It's really sad. I was so excited. But anyway,
yeah. So we're gonna get there soon. I'm holding out.
It's coming.
Yeah.
it's coming. It's coming.
Yep. So on that note, I think that's everything we have for this episode that ended up being longer than we anticipated. I
Definitely.
hope you guys enjoyed listening to us rant and ramble about sports and us growing up on sports and our experiences with watching sports.
Mhm.
If you are enjoying our podcast episodes, you can check us out if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and any other podcasting platform. If you are watching or listening on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button, hit the red subscribe button right next to it, and make sure to check us out on Instagram and TikTok, where we will have weekly content at CAF Convos Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good night.